Clearly, the professor thought he was about to be caught, yelling as he tried to escape, but Old Han is not someone who lets people off easily. At that moment, the tiger malfunctioned. The professor tried to close the door, but Old Han blocked it with his gun. The silencer fell in. In a panic, Old Han knocked the professor down from behind and fired 2 shots into his chest, startling Ojai into a stupor. Ojai was stunned. He couldn't believe Friendly Han had killed someone. Back in the car, he was baffled. His mind was in chaos until Old Han yelled at him, prompting him to slam the gas and race away. What shocked Ojai even more was becoming a wanted criminal overnight. He wanted an explanation from Old Han, but all he got was should have. Ojai was virtually on the verge of being amused by his own frustration, and all Old Han could do was repeatedly offer him some rather ineffective comfort. "Don't worry, that camera can't pick me out at all. You believe me, right?" Ojai replied, "If I believed you, I wouldn't feel so alone. I need to trust you to help me." Just when they were arguing, a group of unwelcome visitors, a gang of thugs, suddenly burst in. Turns out Ojai had borrowed money from a loan shark to help his dad, and now he owed a whopping fortune. So he had to lie that Old Han was his boss, promising to pay back once he got his paycheck. But Old Han, seeing the crowd, ditched Ojai with the Imel Tahir. Good luck. However, Old Han didn't really leave at all. He grabbed a towel and wrapped it around his hand with a screwdriver, heading for a BMW. With a bang, the glass shattered and alarms went off, bringing the goons running. Old Han pulled out a big wad of cash for the loan shark to fix the glass and promised to settle Ojai's debt in a week. The loan shark, seeing the cash, decided to avoid trouble and left a business card behind, scampering away. Ojai felt relieved, but was still determined to do the righteous thing and sped straight to the police station. Just as he was about to get out, Old Han pulled a gun on him. "Hold on, my friend. If you go in there, you might as well be asking for a death sentence." Left with no choice, Ojai closed the door, and Old Han promised, "Just give me a week, and I'll turn myself in to clear your name." So, does this imply that from now on, we have even more individuals to consider and deal with here? He felt like he was being driven crazy, while Old Han, disguised as a professor, crashing a party. The target was CMC, the balding chairman of the Japan Chamber of Commerce in Korea, who had connections to everything shady from the past. Yet nowadays, that bald individual has stepped away from the limelight and has gone on to become a friendly diplomat. Little did Old Han know, the police had set up strict security at the venue. Old Choi halted him in his tracks and ordered a thorough security check. Following recent high-profile shootings, the police were on high alert. The weapon used in the murders traced back to the Kanto army from 60 years ago, raising suspicions for Old Choi. He noticed the photo of the professor, where 2 of the deceased were clearly present. This made Old Choi suspect that the targets were the 4 people in the photo. At the bald chairman's banquet, he planned to take action easily. Old Han was nervous about being searched, but when they opened his bag, it only contained 2 bottles of cola and a pack of gum. Noticing Old Choi's age, he wasn't overly suspicious. Thus, Old Han successfully and smoothly slipped into the venue. Once in the bathroom, he poured the colas into the toilet, disassembled the explosives, a knife on his leg to start some creative renovation. Next, he mixed fermenting powder and explosive in the proper ratio into the cola bottle, sealing it tight. After letting it ferment for a few minutes, he had a homemade smoke bomb ready to go. Just as Old Han was about to light up and relax, Old Choi walked in. Seeing the situation, Old Han had to bid farewell early. However, the strong smell of smoke made Old Choi suspicious, and once Old Han left, he began to search the area. Clearly, Old Han had cleaned up well, but just to be safe, he decided to investigate Old Han's identity. Meanwhile, the bald chairman gave a speech on stage while Old Han pulled out his smoke bomb. But Old Choi's investigation revealed that Old Han was in the exact spot where the deceased professor had been. This immediately made him suspect that Old Han was the killer. Just as he approached, Old Han suddenly prepared to leave. Their eyes locked, and within moments smoke engulfed the area. Old Choi rushed forward, but was blocked by the panicking crowd. Suddenly, an explosion erupted, throwing the scene into even more chaos. Old Han took the opportunity to slip away into the crowd while Old Choi could only rush to protect the board chairman. But just as they were about to escape through the back door, Old Han suddenly appeared, a gun aimed at the bald guy's head. The Japanese Empire is going after China, Old Han declared, then used the bald guy's phone and contacted his next target, sending out a death notice saying that no matter how long, I'll be in for a scare, warning everyone present that they wouldn't be able to rest easy. But all of this caused Old Choi to suddenly dash forward and firmly block his way. Old Han had to grab the bald guy and run, but just before the elevator door closed, the bald guy suddenly struck back, knocking Old Han's gun away. The two began a fierce fight, but soon Old Han found himself on the ground. Struggling to keep hold of his strength, he grabbed the bald guy's mouth, and upon regaining his footing, he didn't hold back, causing the bald guy to tremble with fear and beg for mercy. But Old Han was not one to show mercy, and when Old Choi rushed to the first floor, Old Han had already disappeared and ordered the building to be locked down. Meanwhile, outside, Ojai received Old Han's call to bring medical personnel to the fourth floor where there were people injured who needed urgent help. However, when they finally arrived, Old Han unexpectedly pulled out his gun. The police were screening suspicious individuals in the lobby when suddenly 2 gunshots were fired. If you liked our story, subscribe ahead of time for more great content.